Hi everybody, well this is sort of my final reveal of my Tiger 1 in honor of Coen group build. Things are still drying and it's 99.9% done. So I'm going to do a video and I'll get to the pictures. I'll end up taking pictures once everything's dry. My paint along here and some of the glue is still drying. And I'm going to put down a couple more grass tufts, which are still in the process of drying. I'm going to wait for them to dry a bit more. They're not going to change the overall look, but I'll stick with them. I'll finish them off and get them on there. And to give you some background, well, there's the Tiger, the initial. I did it with the elephant ear storage, as you can see on the side. And to give you an idea of how big this thing is, hold on a second, work with me. This thing, I'll give you some more perspective in a second as well, is 14 inches by 14 inches. So 36 centimeters square. To give you an idea of how big that is, that's where I work and that's how much room it takes up. So any bigger and I'd be working in my lap. And in order to spin it, it's sticking over the table quite a bit. But to give you an idea of what I've done before in the way of dioramas, I'm not getting much light up here, hold on a second. There's the brum bar. Can't tell how well it's showing. I did a diorama which is really just sand and a palm tree. I did that one which is really just a road with a couple of figures on it and a vehicle. And then that's more of a vignette, just a snow base for a T-34. So this is a big jump for me. But it seemed appropriate because Michael has put so much information and so many different techniques and so much inspiration both on the ISM website and on YouTube for everybody. So depending on how you look at it, I'm trying to either catch up with him a little bit or just push myself a little bit further. So this is what we have. There's the initial Tiger from Dragon. There's the G6 from Revell, staff car, the Tamiya truck, Tamiya Cabal wagon, figures from all sorts, mostly Dragon kits. The one or two of the drivers and riders are from, I can't even remember now, Mini Art I think, not Mini Art, Master Box, and the one seated general, there he is, it's actually a resin kit, I think from Alpine. So as you can see, it's the Tiger's first day out, doing some gunnery practice, showing off, some of the staff taking a look. The table I'm quite happy with. Actual blueprints, I'm not going to be able to zoom in close enough, but the blueprints are actually for a Tiger 1 that I found and shrunk down. It's also my first time trying lead foil on the straps for the binocular cases. I had to add them because so many of these guys have binoculars with them. It's a case of what I'm calling schnapps. It's probably the wrong shaped bottle, but I liked it. There we go. Zoom. I got those all done. They're actually regular gray resin. And I gave them 3 coats of Tamiya clear green for the glass to give it sort of a translucent, rich look. And then a little bit of, what do they call it? Forgetting the name now. Buff, I think it was, I used for the corks. Quite a few, some different types of ammo cases that have been emptied, some of them discarded. Used some of the empty shells that came with the kit itself, just to show that our loader here's been lazy and just chucking them straight out of his hatch, because of course there's no loading hatch on this Tiger, just the pistol ports. And just for comedic effect, and I've sort of told myself I want to put an animal in every diorama, which I've done except for the Brum Bar, because it was just a little too depressing. I added a goat in there. The goat was painted white, and it's been dry brushed with UMP's concrete wash, just to dirty them up and give them some color. And same thing with the pine boxes. I don't think they're showing up too well in this light. That's a little bit better. They're, I think it's German yellow from Aveo, very pale yellow, and I gave them a wash with the German gray, or with the UMP concrete, just to give them a little bit more of that sort of worn, weathered pine look. And there's the figures that came with the model, the ones that sent me down this whole path. The two guys from the propaganda department, or whatever they're called. This guy, just for a difference, I left him, or painted him in desert pants. My version of reality is he just got reassigned from North Africa, and he likes his pants. The ground cover is all from what's it called? Woodland Scenics. A lot of the grass tufts are these ones from Green Line in 2 different sizes. Really nice and easy to use. And the fresh green ones, these ones, I'm making myself. So, a couple of little stories, different things to move the focus away from the tank a bit, to generals having a conversation. These 3 guys sort of reviewing or trying to comprehend the results. And of course, because the generals have ordered some schnapps to celebrate, bottles being passed up, and the radio operator's body language says he's a little concerned he's going to miss out on some. He doesn't want to take his eyes off it. I got the headphones that came with the kit. He's got his off. The commanders are actually in his hand. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick them up easily. There we go. He's just got them off. He's got his binoculars at the side again. Some more lead foil for his strap. And the cameraman just recording some images and footages of the new secret weapon. The driver waiting. Of course, the farm guy who's supposed to be helping look after all the ammunition and brass is more interested in the farmer's goat that's wandered over to see what's going on now that the racket's all finished. And lots of stowage. Still some more ammunition on there, crowbar to open up stuff. A couple of links of Tiger track, and some old junk pieces, burnt out wheels and track from a Panzer IV. Some random boxes, a final drive, some personal gear sitting up there, more guys looking bored with life, and of course back to the generals, the assistant, The driver for this came from the Master Box kit, or the Master Box set. He fit, so I used them. So that's about it. It's a monster for me. My biggest shelf over there, it's going to replace the pink monster. It's a diorama that has been sitting pretty much unbuilt but framed for about 8 months while I work up the courage to do it. That shelf is 16 inches wide, so it's just going to fit on there once I move some stuff out of the way. So this one is I'm happy with it. It's my, as you can see, it's the first time I've done some real scenery, or really had to deal with vegetation, and I'm quite happy with it. These things didn't roll into battle around Leningrad until I believe it was October, so I wanted to do late fall. So there's some orange and yellows blended in on the ground for stuff slowly winterizing itself. That's why I've used so much of the dry yellow tufts of grass, and the ground cover is blended mostly yellow with a little bit of green blended in as well, just to hopefully I'll give it that very late summer. Fall's just about to start. Hasn't rained in a while, because I guess they're waiting for that Russian rainy season to turn everything to mud. So I'm not sure if I've got the seasons quite right compared to the reality of Russia, but it's the look, and it's my artificial season that I wanted. And I'm not sure what else I can tell you about this. You know, like I said, once it's done, once the glue's dried and I get the last couple of grass tufts filled in, I'll take a whole lot of good pictures and post them up. But for now, we'll call this the finale, the final reveal. And thanks, Coen, Mike. A lot of what's here is either directly taken from your videos, or it's a modification of what you've done, or it's been inspired by what you do. So thank you, and everybody have a good day.